Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is Tien Tzuo. He is founder and CEO at Zuora. Tien, it is wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, the last time you were here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, back in 2018 when you listed Zuora on the NYSE.
That's right. That was a fun day. That was a good day.
It was a fun day, and I was so happy to be a part of that day.
I know. Thank you.
And it's great to have you back. So
it's good to be back.
Now, you founded the company 15 years ago, or over 15 years ago,
That's right.
and you coined the phrase, the subscription economy.
Yeah.
Tell me, what motivated you to start Zuora, and tell me about your journey.
Well, 15 years ago, I had been at a company called Salesforce, right? We all know them for about 9 years. And Salesforce was about this whole concept of the end of software, right? We said to people, look, you don't need to buy software. There's no reason you should buy these CDs and deal with the hassles of maintenance and upgrades, that there was a better way that you simply can subscribe to a service that other people take care of. And so now you look at the whole industry, the whole software industry, it's now software as a service. And big companies like Microsoft, Adobe, SAP, Oracle, they're all going to that model. So what we said is, look, is this just software, or can anything really be offered as a service? And we looked around us, and you and I at the time, we were buying less and less of these DVDs and CDs. We would simply subscribe to Netflix, subscribe to Spotify for our entertainment. And many people, especially the millennials, they weren't buying cars because they can access these services, right? They can subscribe to services from Uber or Lyft to get from point A to point B. And so we coined this term called the subscription economy because we thought that there would be this end of ownership, that you and I would not have a need to own things anymore. We simply can use services that other people, other people provide. And the subscription economy really has taken hold over the last 15 years.
All right, and so tell me, where are we today? And how has the world changed since more companies started embracing these new innovative business models?
Well, in the last 15 years, what we've done is we said, look, this whole subscription business model, it really changes how companies operate. It makes this much more complex. And so what we do is, we do two things. Right? We take a set of technologies to take all the hard parts about running these recurring revenue model businesses, and we make it easy. So things like billing, things like payments, things like revenue recognition. These are just things like commerce. These are complex things that we automate, and we do this today for the New York Times, for Caterpillar, for Salesforce, for Zoom, for Box, and other companies like that. And the other thing is, we took a lot of these best practices and techniques, and we wrote a book. We wrote a book called Subscribed. It's how the subscription business model, why the subscription business model will be the future, and what your company needs to do about it. It's been translated into 20 languages, a bestseller, sold hundreds of thousands of copies. And so what we've been doing now is talking to our customers and saying, look, this has been 15 years now. How are things different? And we have a sense that we're entering this new phase. We're entering a new era, a new phase of the subscription economy. There's a maturity to it now. We all take all this stuff for granted. And companies are going to say, now that everybody is everybody is transitioning to subscriptions, there seems to be a shakeout. There seems to be a shakeout going on where competition is harder, markets are becoming more saturated. You look at what's going on in streaming services, for example. Now we all have like 3, 4, 5 streaming services, and we're asking ourselves, do we really need it all? Companies are waking up saying, I have as many software as a service SaaS applications as I do employees sometimes, and that doesn't make any sense. And there's a feeling there's a shakeout's happening that's going to separate winners from losers. And we're busy talking to companies about exactly how do you stay as a winner and have staying power in this new era of the subscription economy.
And are you seeing any trends in this space?
Well, we're seeing a lot of trends. So this idea of consumption-based pricing models, where you only pay based on how many movies you saw, how many gigabytes you consumed, how many API calls you made, if you will. Instead of paying a simple flat monthly fee, I only want to pay based on how much I've consumed. So consumption-based business models are on the rise. The other thing that we're seeing is this whole concept of unbundling. So if you think of the New York Times, 15 years ago, you had to buy the Sunday paper as the entire paper. And now with the New York Times, you can access some of the content for free. You can subscribe to recipes, you can subscribe to games, you can subscribe to entertainment, you can subscribe to Wirecutter, and of course, you can subscribe to news. So companies are saying, if we're gonna have staying power in this new era of the subscription economy, we've gotta change how we engage with customers, we've gotta give them choice, and there's all these new techniques that we see are coming up, and we're busy helping our customers really implement these new ideas.
Right, so ESG. Tell me about Zuora's approach to ESG and share some of the highlights from your impact report, which was released earlier this year.
So we've always been a vision and mission-driven company, a values-driven company. And so if you look at what we've done, when we went public here on the New York Stock Exchange, we took the 1% pledge. So now 1% of our equity is channeled back into, hey, how can we make our communities a better place? How can we make our customers, our employees a better place? We've pledged to be carbon neutral. So we've been carbon neutral for 2 years in a row. And this year we're proud to say that all our physical buildings are now net neutral as well. And so it's pretty exciting. So ESG has really given us a framework to put together all the good that we do into a simple structure. I'm pretty proud that this is the second year in a row that we've issued our impact report. And it documents everything we were doing around sustainability and the environment, all the good governance practices we do, all the investments we made in diversity. On my board, as an example, I don't have just one, not two, not three, but 4 women board members. And so you're seeing us really dedicate ourselves to a diverse and balanced workforce.
All right, and finally, Tien, as we look to 2024, tell me, what are the priorities you have for Zuora?
Well, look, technology landscape sure seems to be shifting yet again. AI is really, really important. The amount of data that we have and how do we help our customers harness this data? How do we help them benchmark their information with each other? We just did a whole set of product announcements last week in London where we showcased a lot of our new technologies. But at the end of the day, it's really helping the biggest and best companies in the world be successful, building better relationships with their customers, and really, really being successful in the subscription economy.
All right, well, Tien, it's been wonderful to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Of course, thanks, Judy. Great to be here.